historically what has happened in certain similar situations, and I'll make a judgment call. But a lot of these people these days, they don't make judgment calls. Data male, the modern data male, which is a play on the beta.
I am a nurse.
A nurse?
Nurse. Yes.
Beta!
So basically, we have epidemic, pandemic, endemic, emic. There's an emic of these new school men. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are women included, but I'm just gonna speak on the men because personal experiences I've had. Now here is the thing about data. Now I am in complete agreement with the scientific method, science, the methodology of coming to a conclusion after you have a hypothesis, going through the testing. But something about data that's very interesting is it's always after the fact because data requires testing and monitoring, right? So as a man, if you are solely reliant on data, and again, I'm going to say like, don't throw out all data. Don't be one of these science deniers, if you will, that won't believe any sort of data because they have these types of biases and fallacies. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you can't live your life solely relying on data because if you do, you'll always be behind. Think about it. You'll never be able to preemptively come to any conclusions ever about anything because nothing has been proven. You could look at something and logically know what to do, what not to do, what may be dangerous, what may be an absent-minded decision based on your situation. But you can't make those calls if you're solely reliant on data because there's no proof to your suspicion. So the problem I encounter with a lot of people is I'll present an idea or a hunch, if you will, that I'll have just based on past experiences and observing historically what has happened in certain similar situations, and I'll make a judgment call. But a lot of these people these days, they don't make judgment calls. They never make judgment calls. They only make calls based on data, which again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but you can't go through your life like this. You can't live solely on data because you'll never be ahead of the game. You'll always be playing catch up. You'll never be able to look at something, make a judgment call. Maybe you'll be right, maybe you'll be wrong. That's what life's all about. Life's all about learning. We all make mistakes. Some of us more than others, but we all make mistakes, right? And if you don't make mistakes and learn and grow, what's the point of living? It's boring if you're just going to sit on your couch waiting for the trickle down of peer reviewed information to spoon feed you your opinion on anything you may encounter in life. That doesn't make any sense. And think about a woman, think about a wife you'll have. If you're her alpha, right? Just spare me the comment section, please, with the freaking gender normative and all that stuff. Okay, let's just say it's a heteronormative, gender normative dynamic, the couple. And let's just say hypothetically, the man is the alpha. If your woman's looking to you to make decisions, to provide, to be the leader in the household, what do you think she's going to think of you if you can never make judgment calls and you're always waiting for the government, the surgeon general, the I don't know who in which scenario it would be, but whatever authority that you're going to refer to, what is she going to think about you that you can't make decisions until 3 years down the line when something's transpired and now there's data on said subject? I mean, again, I say this all the time. You guys can do what you want. I'm just putting this stuff out there, and it's like, you want to grab it, go ahead. But I'm just telling you, that's how I'm moving, and I'm not trying to wait on no data, you know? And that's the thing. At risk of making this always racial, people hate the race aspect. People complain, oh, how come you got to make it racial? But a lot of the time, this is racial. This is more so cultural than racial. It's like, you'll see a lot of black people, they ain't waiting for no research. Whether or not they could read the research, that's another story for another day. But the bottom line is, they ain't waiting for no research. Black people got intuition. Black people know what's up. And they're looking back and they're like, yo, XYZ happened. And me, I'm going to act in this situation based on prior experiences that I've witnessed. I mean, within reason. Obviously, we see some looting situations and things like that where people are not really considering past experiences. But I'm saying for the most part, a lot of these black people in the US, they're not falling for a lot of the stuff that the white cultures are falling for. So I think rather than demonizing people that are bringing that conversation up or bringing that to the forefront, we should really look into why. Why is it that the races are processing information differently? Why can we not have these conversations instead of being like, oh, why do you have to make it about race? Well, I'm sorry, a lot of things do boil down to race and definitely culture. So don't be so quick to get emotional and get upset when somebody brings up race. Because I'm not a guy that, I don't discriminate based on just looking at someone. I make informed decisions based on my experiences. It's okay to have prejudices. It's okay to prefer your own kind more than others. This is logical. This is normal. We see this in the animal kingdom. We see this in the human interactions as well. So it's like, don't get so caught up on the race thing. It's a thing, but so don't pretend it's not a thing, but it's not the only thing, right? But long tangent to say, data. Gotta be careful with data. You gotta take it seriously, of course, in certain situations, but a lot of the time you got to make your own judgment calls, guys. Like, come on, there's no time to waste waiting on data, guys. Like, we got to step up. We got to be able to use our intuition and build our wisdom so that we can make informed decisions as they arise, as they come to us. All right, so boys, keep that in mind. Remember, never forget, we don't get old, we just go broke. You don't need to wait on the data on that.